My child, do not move. I know you are about to swipe away, caught in the rhythm of a world that never stops moving, but I have placed a divine hedge around this exact moment to capture your attention. There are no accidents in my kingdom, only appointments set before the foundations of the world. Last night, I heard the silent scream of your soul when you thought no one was listening. I saw the weight you carried as you closed your eyes, wondering if tomorrow would just be another exhausting cycle of the same pain and the same lack. I am here now, whispering directly into the depths of your spirit, because the season of your wandering is coming to an abrupt end. You have been chosen for a transformation so profound that your past self will soon seem like a distant stranger to you. Listen closely with the ears of your heart, for what I am about to reveal is the key to the heavy gates that have kept you locked in a room of frustration. You have felt the pressure, the isolation, and the biting cold of a winter that seemed never-ending. But understand this secret: the trouble you have endured was not a sign of my absence, but the preparation for my overwhelming abundance. I am moving you from a season of trouble into a reality of double the peace, double the joy, and double the provision that the enemy tried to steal from you. This message is the sacred bridge between your struggle and your strength. And if you turn away now, you will miss the very instruction that triggers your destiny. Before I pull back the veil and show you the blueprint of your restoration, I need you to step into the light of my presence. I need you to acknowledge that you are here listening, not just with your ears, but with your very being. Do not let this moment pass in silence or passivity. Right now, in this sacred space, declare your presence before the heavens. Press like as your seal of agreement, then comment 7007. Or I am here, Lord, so heaven can witness your yes. And subscribe, my child, so you stay anchored to what I'm unfolding. Because later in this message, I will expose the exact reason the pressure spiked right before your breakthrough. As you make that declaration, feel the atmosphere beginning to shift around you. This is the start of a divine alignment that will change the trajectory of your family's future. Your life is about to undergo a spiritual shift that will leave those who mocked you in total awe of my power. You have been in the hidden season, the crushing season where you felt like you were falling apart. But I tell you today, you are not falling apart. You are falling into your divine purpose. The very things that tried to bury you were actually planting you in the most fertile soil I have ever prepared. The trouble to double principle is now fully active in your life. For every tear you shed in secret, I am preparing a public testimony of my goodness that will shake your foundations. For every opportunity that was lost, I am opening storehouses of favor you didn't even know existed. Stay with me, for the revelation of how I am turning your greatest trial into your greatest triumph is only just beginning. My precious one, I have watched you in the stillness of the night, when the air felt heavy and the very walls of your room seemed to be closing in on you. I know the weight you carry. It is not the ordinary stress of a busy life or the temporary fatigue of a long day. It is an existential pressure, a burning sensation in your chest that feels as though the entire world is pressing against your spirit, trying to crush the very breath out of your lungs. You have felt trapped, as if every direction you turn leads to a dead end, and every effort you make to escape only draws the constraints tighter around your soul. You have looked in the mirror and barely recognized the person staring back, seeing eyes that are weary from carrying burdens you were never meant to bear alone. I have seen you gasping for air in the middle of a crowded room, feeling more invisible and alone than ever before, wondering if anyone truly knows the magnitude of the storm raging within you. I have seen your silent tears falling on your pillow when you thought the world was asleep and I was far away. I have seen the trembling of your hands as you reached out for a sign, any sign that you were not being abandoned to the darkness. I have seen the exhaustion that goes deeper than sleep, can reach the kind that settles into your bones and makes every step feel like a climb up a mountain. I have seen the moments you wanted to give up, the moments you whispered that you couldn't take one more day of this crushing uncertainty. Do not think for a single second that my silence meant my absence. I was there in the heat of the furnace, holding you even when you couldn't feel my touch. Every sigh, every groan of your heart, and every unspoken prayer has been recorded in my book. You are not being ignored. You are being observed with the most intense, loving focus a father can give to his child. This burning pressure you feel is not the fire of destruction, though it may sting like it. It is the fire of the refiner. You feel like you are being boiled, like the heat is being turned up beyond what you can endure, but I am the master alchemist, and I know exactly how much heat is required to bring the dross to the surface. I am not crushing you. I am pressing you. Think of the olive, it must be pressed to release its precious oil. Think of the grape, it must be crushed to become the finest wine. Think of the diamond, it is nothing more than common coal that refused to give up under unimaginable pressure. You are in a season of divine extraction. What is being squeezed out of you right now is the you that was limited, the you that was fearful, and the you that relied on your own strength. What remains will be the pure essence of my glory, a version of yourself that is unbreakable, unshakable, and filled with a power you never knew you possessed. You are being prepared for a weight of blessing that would have crushed the person you used to be. If I gave you the double portion now without this season of pressing, you would not have the character or the spiritual muscle to carry it. This pressure is building your endurance. It is stretching your capacity to receive. You feel like you are breaking, but I tell you, you are becoming. You are becoming a vessel of honor, a light that cannot be hidden, and a testimony of my faithfulness. The walls are not closing in to trap you. They are narrowing your path so that you are forced to look up and lock eyes with me. In this intensity, you are learning to find a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that doesn't depend on your circumstances, but on my presence. Hold on, my beloved, for the fire is about to reveal the gold that I have hidden inside of you since the day you were born. My child, I know the question that has been echoing through the corridors of your mind, growing louder with every passing day. Where are you? You have prayed until your voice was a rasp. You have searched for a glimmer of hope in the shadows, yet all you heard was the sound of your own heartbeat and the mocking whisper of the wind. This silence feels like a desert. It feels like abandonment. You look around and see others receiving their breakthroughs, hearing my voice clearly, while you sit in a dark room wondering if I have forgotten the way to your door. But I need you to understand that my silence is never an absence of my love. It is the highest form of my intimacy. I saw you searching the sky for an answer, and I saw the hollow ache in your chest when no answer came. Do not mistake my stillness for indifference. When the teacher is silent, it is because the test is in progress. When the father is quiet, it is because he is watching his child take the most important steps of their life. Think of me as the master potter, and you, my beloved, are the clay upon my wheel. Have you ever watched a craftsman at work? When he is preparing the clay, throwing it down, and beginning the initial spin, there may be noise and movement. But there comes a moment, the most critical moment of the entire process, where the potter leans in, close. His breath is on the clay. His eyes are narrowed in total unwavering concentration. His hands are locked in a delicate, powerful grip, feeling every grain, every air bubble, every imperfection. In that moment, the potter does not speak. He cannot speak. If he were to look away or break his focus to explain what he is doing, the vessel could be marred. My silence is the evidence of my proximity. I am so close to you right now that there is no room for words between us. I am leaning into the details of your life, smoothing out the rough edges that the world carved into you, and pulling up the walls of your character so you can hold the wine of my spirit. You are on the wheel, and my hands have never been more firmly in control than they are in this very moment of silence. You are not a mass of mud being spun aimlessly by fate. You are the clay in the hands of the living God. Just as the clay cannot see the shape it is becoming, you cannot yet see the masterpiece I am forming from your broken pieces. You feel the spinning, and it makes you dizzy. You feel the pressure of my thumbs, and it feels like pain. But I am not hurting you. I am shaping you. I am removing the stones of bitterness and the grit of doubt that would make you crack in the kiln. This season of quiet is where your true strength is forged. It is where you learn that I am God, even when I am quiet. Trust the hands that were pierced for you, even when the voice that speaks worlds into existence is hushed. The wheel is turning, the design is perfect, and very soon, the silence will break into a song of deliverance that will be heard across the heavens. Your shape is changing, your purpose is rising, and I am well pleased with what I am making of you. Before we move deeper into the mystery of your transformation, let us pause in this holy stillness. The silence is not the end of the story. It is the breath I take before I speak your victory into existence. My precious child, I have walked with you through the halls of your recent losses. I have seen you standing in the middle of a room that feels far too quiet, looking at the empty space where a relationship used to be a job once stood, or a dream was held. You have felt as though the very fabric of your life is being unraveled thread by thread, until you are left standing exposed and hollow. To the world and to your own aching heart, it looks like you are being stripped bare. It looks like the enemy has gained a foothold and is plundering your storehouse. But I am here to tell you a truth that will set your spirit free. You are not being robbed. You are being cleared. You are experiencing the paradox of the empty vessel. I cannot pour the wine of my new season into the cracked and vinegar-stained skins of your past. I had to allow those things to fall away because they could no longer contain the magnitude of what I am about to release into your life. The space you see as a lack is actually a divine invitation for my presence to occupy territory that was previously cluttered with things that were beneath your destiny. Think of the life I am building for you as a grand cathedral, a place of light and resonance. Before the master architect can bring in the gold and the fine linens, the construction site must be cleared of the old decaying structures. You have been clinging to ruins, calling them home, while I have been planning a palace. I saw you holding on to that person who didn't value my image in you, and I saw you exhausting yourself in a career that was suffocating the gifts I placed in your soul. I heard your prayers for a breakthrough, but you were asking me to bless a prison. So in my infinite mercy, I let the walls crumble. I allowed the doors to close. The emptiness you feel right now is not a sign of my judgment, but the highest mark of my favor. It is a holy vacancy. If your hands are full of the good, you will never have the reach to grab the great. I am emptying you so that I can fill you with myself with a joy that doesn't depend on a paycheck and a peace that isn't dictated by the opinions of others. You have spent so many nights mourning what was taken. But I want you to start celebrating what is coming. The void within you is the exact measurement of the miracle I am preparing. The deeper the hole, the stronger the foundation I am laying. Do not look at the shadows of what was. Look at the light of what is about to be. I am the God who brings life out of death and abundance out of nothingness. Just as I took 5 loaves and 2 fish and filled the bellies of thousands, I am going to take your nothing and turn it into more than enough. You are currently a vessel being washed clean, prepared to hold a glory that will make your past achievements look like dust. Every tear you cried over what you lost was a seed sown into the harvest of what you are about to gain. The season of being emptied is over. The season of being filled is beginning at this very second. I want you to pause right now and feel the truth of my word vibrating in your chest. I want you to perform an act of spiritual surrender to activate this shift. Place your left hand firmly over your heart, feeling its steady rhythm, the rhythm I gave you. Take a deep, intentional breath, and as you exhale the worry and the sense of loss, whisper these words with authority. I am ready to be filled. Say it again, louder in your spirit. I am ready to be filled. When you make this declaration, you are signaling to the heavens that you have stopped looking back at the ruins and are now looking up at the architect. You are making room for the double I promised you. Now comment, well, 11, or I am ready to be filled, and subscribe, so you stay anchored as I finish what I started in you. My beloved, consider for a moment the humble tea bag sitting quietly in its dry, safe container. When it is tucked away in the cupboard, it is protected, it is dry, and it is entirely comfortable. But in that state of comfort, it is also utterly useless. It has no scent to share, no flavor to offer, and no power to transform the water around it. It is merely a potential that has not yet been realized. Many of you have been praying for comfort, asking me to keep you in the dry box, where nothing ever changes and nothing ever hurts. But I did not create you to stay in the box. I created you to be a catalyst, a source of strength, and a vessel of divine flavor. You have looked at your life and wondered why the peace you once knew has been replaced by an environment that feels hostile and overwhelming. You feel like you have been plucked from your place of safety and tossed into a situation you didn't choose. But I want you to see yourself through my eyes. I see the herbs, the spices, and the healing properties I have woven into your very soul. I see the richness of your character that has been hidden under the surface, waiting for the right moment to be revealed to a thirsty world. You were never meant to remain dry and dormant. You were meant to be released. And then comes the water. Not just warm water, but water that is boiling hot, intense, and demanding. This is where the struggle begins. You feel the heat of your circumstances, the searing pain of betrayal, the scalding worry of financial lack, and the burning pressure of expectations you cannot meet. You cry out to me, Lord, the water is too hot, I am being destroyed. Why would a loving Father put me in such a place? But listen to my voice in the midst of the steam. The boiling water of life did not come to kill you. It came to extract the very best of who you are. The heat is the only thing that can break through the outer shell of your ego and your self-reliance. Without the boiling water, the beauty I put inside of you would remain locked away forever, a treasure that never saw the light of day. The intensity of your current trial is in direct proportion to the richness of the flavor I am bringing out of you. The hotter the water, the more potent the essence. You feel like you are being consumed, but in reality, you are being infused into the atmosphere around you. You are changing the very nature of the environment that tried to boil you. Watch as the water begins to change color. It is no longer clear and thin. It is becoming deep, rich, and fragrant. This is what is happening to your soul right now. Your suffering is producing an endurance that you never knew you had. Your pain is being transformed into a wisdom that will guide others out of their own darkness. When people look at you now, they don't just see a person who has survived a storm. They see the aroma of Christ, the scent of a victor who has walked through the fire and come out smelling like heaven. You are becoming a source of healing for the weary and a cup of cold water for the thirsty. The tea of your life is finally ready to be served. Do not resent the heat, for without it, you would still be that dry, tasteless bag in the cupboard full of potential, but devoid of impact. You are stronger than you think, my child, because I am the one who measured the temperature of the water. I know exactly how much you can handle, and I will not let you stay in the heat 1 second longer than is necessary to bring out your perfect hue. The process is nearing its completion, and the results will be more beautiful than you can imagine. You have passed the test of the furnace. You have allowed the heat to do its work without becoming bitter, and now you are ready to be used in ways you never dreamed possible. Your flavor is unique, it is necessary, and it is exactly what this world needs in this hour. Stand tall in your new strength, for the boiling has ceased, and the pouring is about to begin. You have been refined by the very things that tried to define you, and now you carry an essence that only those who have been through the fire can possess. Embrace this new version of yourself, for you are no longer the dry, fragile thing you once were. You are a potent force of my grace, ready to saturate everything you touch with the goodness of my kingdom. My child, the adversary, thought he had finally won. He looked at the wreckage of your recent months, saw the rubble of your broken plans, and concluded that you were finally finished. He orchestrated circumstances to throw you into a dark, cold place, covering you with the suffocating dirt of gossip and the heavy soil of betrayal, and the thick mud of what appeared to be a total failure. To the natural eye, and perhaps even to your own weary heart, it looked like a funeral. You felt the weight of the earth pressing down on you, extinguishing your vision, and making it hard to find the strength to even whisper my name. You wondered why I allowed the shadows to grow so long, and why the ground seemed to swallow your every effort. But here is the secret that the darkness could never comprehend. You are not a corpse being buried. You are a seed being planted. The very hands that tried to hide you from the light were actually the tools I used to prepare you for a growth that no force on earth can stop. You are a holy seed, and within you is the DNA of a forest. The dirt is not your end. It is your nutrition. The darkness is not your prison. It is your laboratory. I am the master gardener. And I know that for a seed to fulfill its divine destiny, it must first be surrounded by things that look nothing like its future. You were frustrated because you wanted to stay on the surface where it was safe, predictable, and sunny. But on the surface, you would have stayed small, fragile, and limited. I allowed the setback to occur because I needed to get you deep enough into the earth so that your roots could find the hidden waters of my spirit. Do not despise the dirt that has been thrown upon you, my beloved. Every difficult person you encountered, every door that slammed in your face, and every no that broke your heart was part of the divine soil I used to nourish your inner man. The pressure you feel right now is not meant to crush you, but to break the hard shell of your old life, so that the greatness I placed inside of you can finally push through the surface. What felt like a burial was actually a divine setup for an explosion of life that will dwarf everything you have ever known before. I am working all things together for your good, not just the pleasant things, but the painful ones too. I am taking the mistakes you made, the wrongs done to you by others, and the moments you felt most abandoned, and I am weaving them into a masterpiece of triumph. Nothing is wasted in my kingdom. The enemy meant it for evil. He meant to silence you and keep you under the ground forever. But I am using his very malice to accelerate your progress. You are not behind schedule. You are exactly where you need to be for the most significant shift of your existence. The setback was simply the tension on the bowstring pulling you back, creating the necessary force so that I can launch you further and faster than you could ever have traveled on your own. You are about to break through the surface of your circumstances, and when you do, you will find that you have grown stronger, taller, and more resilient than you ever dreamed possible. The world will see the fruit of this season and realize that what looked like a defeat was actually the beginning of your greatest victory. Trust that I am the God of the comeback. I specialize in taking graves and turning them into gardens. You may have felt like you were drowning in the soil, but you were actually absorbing the nutrients of character, humility, and faith that you will need for the palace I am preparing for you. Stop looking at your situation through the lens of tragedy and start seeing it through the lens of transition. The light is already beginning to pierce through the darkness above you. You are closer to the surface than you think, and the sun of my favor is waiting to greet you. Every force that tried to keep you down is about to witness the power of a life that refuses to stay buried. You are rising not in your own struggling power, but in the unstoppable momentum of my grace. The setup is complete, the roots are deep, and the breakthrough is now inevitable. My child, look at the life of my servant Joseph. He was a young man with a vibrant dream and a coat of many colors, a symbol of my favor that made his brothers tremble with envy. Perhaps you too have felt the sting of jealousy from those closest to you. You were given a vision, a spark of something great, and instead of support, you were met with cold shoulders and whispers behind your back. I saw when your brothers, those you trusted, those you loved, stripped you of your dignity and threw you into the pit. You were left in the darkness, looking up at a circle of sky, wondering how a dream could turn into a nightmare so quickly. But I want you to know, the pit was not a mistake. It was the first step toward the throne. I allowed them to take the coat, but they could never take the dream, for the dream was anchored in me. I watched you in your pit of despair, and I was there with you in the shadows, making sure that the darkness did not consume your soul. Even when Joseph found himself in Potiphar's house, he did everything with excellence. He was faithful, he was honest, and he was pure. Yet for doing the right thing, he was rewarded with a prison cell. Potiphar's wife lied, and Joseph's integrity led him into chains. I know that feeling has haunted you. You have been honest while others cheated. You have been kind while others were cruel. You have remained faithful even when it seemed easier to compromise, and yet you found yourself in a prison of stagnation. You feel as though you are being punished for your righteousness. But I tell you, Joseph was not in that prison because I had forgotten him. He was there because he was being kept for a specific moment in history. The prison was not his destination. It was his waiting room. It was the place where his character was refined into steel capable of holding the weight of an entire nation's survival. You are a chosen one. And for the chosen, the path is rarely paved with flowers. It is carved through the rock of the pit and the stone of the prison. I don't give big assignments to small people, and I don't give heavy crowns to weak necks. The isolation you feel right now is the same isolation Joseph felt. It is a divine separation. I am training you to hear my voice above the noise of the world. In the pit, you learned that humans will fail you. In the prison, you learned that I am the only one who can truly liberate you. You are being built, not broken. The scars you carry from the betrayal and the years of waiting are not marks of shame. They are your credentials. They prove that you have the endurance to lead, the humility to serve, and the strength to handle the double portion that is about to be poured out. You have survived the worst the enemy could throw at you, and you are still standing. Do not look at the bars of your current situation. Look at the hands that hold the keys. The same God who watched over Joseph in the dungeon is watching over you in your time of trial. Your prison season is coming to an end because you have passed the tests of character. You have stayed faithful in the little things, and now the much is being prepared. The transition from the pit to the prison was necessary to move you from the prison to the palace. Every day you spent waiting was a day I spent aligning the stars for your sudden promotion. Your name is being spoken in high places while you are still in the dark. The decree of your release has already been signed in the courts of heaven. Trust me, for the morning is coming, and with it a royal robe that will make you forget the rags of your struggle. My child, look at the speed of my intervention. Joseph went to bed as a forgotten prisoner, an inmate in a dark dungeon with no hope of release. But he woke up on the day of his destiny. One moment he was wearing the rags of a slave, and the next he was being shaved, clothed in fine linen, and ushered into the presence of the most powerful man on earth. This is the power of my suddenly. You have been worried about how long it will take to recover your losses, calculating the years of toil required to rebuild what was destroyed. But I am not bound by your clocks or your calendars. When I decide the time is right, I can do more in 24 hours than you could accomplish in 24 years. The same voice that called Joseph from the depths is calling your name right now. You are not just being released from your struggle. You are being promoted above it. The prison doors are not just opening to let you out. They are opening to lead you to the throne I have prepared for you since the beginning of time. I gave Joseph the wisdom to interpret Pharaoh's dream, a wisdom that could only have been forged in the crucible of his suffering. Because he had endured the pit and the prison, he was the only one in the kingdom who could handle the responsibility of the palace. I am doing the same for you. Your palace is not just a place of comfort, it is a place of influence. You are being positioned to manage the abundance that is coming to be a source of life for your family and for those who once mocked you. I did not bring you through the fire to leave you smelling like smoke. I brought you through to make you fireproof so that when I place the scepter of authority in your hand, you will rule with the humility and grace of someone who knows exactly where their strength comes from. The double portion is not just for your enjoyment, it is for your assignment. You are being elevated so that you can lift others. Consider the words Joseph spoke to those who had betrayed him. You meant it for evil against me, but God meant it for good. This is the ultimate victory I am handing to you. The very people who tried to sabotage your career, the ones who spoke lies against your character, and the circumstances that tried to steal your joy, they were all unwitting servants of my divine plan. They thought they were burying you, but they were actually planting you in the place of your greatest harvest. Their malice provided the friction needed for your refinement. Very soon, those who look down on you will have to look up to see you. Not because you seek revenge, but because my favor has lifted you so high that my glory is unmistakable upon your life. I am turning the tables, and the feast I am preparing for you will be witnessed by every enemy who thought you were finished. Your palace is ready, my beloved. The years of lack and the seasons of tears were but a brief moment compared to the eternal weight of glory I am about to reveal in you. You have passed the test of faithfulness in the dungeon, and now you are ready for the weight of the blessing. Do not be afraid of the height to which I am calling you. The same hands that held you in the pit will steady you on the throne. Your influence will expand, your territory will increase, and the abundance you receive will be double for all your trouble. The world is about to see what happens when a chosen one emerges from the hidden season. Walk with your head held high, for you are no longer a victim of your past. You are the architect of a future that I have blessed with my own breath, my beloved. And the time of your shame is being swallowed up by the infinite magnitude of my glory. For too long you have walked with a bowed head, feeling the stinging heat of public humiliation and the cold, biting shadow of being overlooked by those who should have seen your worth. You watched from the sidelines as others celebrated their victories, while you sat in the ruins of what you thought was your life, wondering if your turn would ever come. But hear my decree from the throne of heaven today. For every moment of embarrassment you endured, I am bringing you a double portion of honor that will cause even your critics to stand in awe. For every single tear that stained your cheek in the secret, lonely hours of the midnight watch, I am preparing a double portion of joy. A joy so radiant and so resilient that it will overflow from your spirit and light up the days of everyone you encounter. I am the God who restores the years that the locust, the palmer worm, and the cankerworm have eaten. I am not just giving back what was taken. I am increasing the value of everything that returns to your hands. The exchange rate in my kingdom is not 1-to-1. It is trouble to double. You are stepping into a season where the compensation for your suffering will be so magnificent that the very memory of the pain will fade away like a morning mist under the strength of the rising sun. I have seen your bank accounts, and I have heard every whispered fear of not enough that has kept you awake while the world slept. I know the crushing stress of wondering how the ends will meet when the numbers don't add up, and the deep-seated frustration of working for a harvest that never seemed to arrive despite your faithfulness. But I am the sovereign owner of the cattle on 1,000 hills, and the storehouses of heaven are opening over your life at my command. This is not a promise of a temporary fix or a fleeting moment of luck. This is a divine shift in the very nature of your provision. I am releasing a double restoration over your finances. Where there was a drought that cracked the earth of your security, there will now be a flood of supernatural opportunity. I am bringing back the resources that were mismanaged by others, stolen by the enemy, or lost through seasons of unavoidable hardship. You will find that I am placing keys in your hands to doors of wealth and stability you didn't even know existed. Sudden provision is manifesting in your life, not as a game of chance, but as a holy fulfillment of my covenant with you. You will be well supplied, not just for your own needs and the needs of your household, but so that you can become a vast conduit of blessing for a world in need. The spirit of lack and the generational curse of poverty are being broken off your lineage today, replaced by the unshakable spirit of abundance and the grace of a provider. And what of the heart? My precious one, I have walked with you through the halls of your memory, where the empty chairs and broken covenants still linger. I know the sharp sting of being discarded by those you thought were your permanent pillars, and the haunting silence of friendships that withered into the coldness of strangers. In this season of double, I am moving with power in the realm of your relationships. I am the great restorer. Some connections I will heal with a new divine strength that was missing before injecting them with a love that surpasses human understanding. Other things I have removed permanently, not to punish you, but to clear the sacred space for the double. I am bringing into your life people of high destiny souls who will recognize the gold within you and who are equipped to walk beside you toward your ultimate purpose. You will no longer be the one who is always giving until you are empty, never to receive in return. I am balancing the scales of your life. For every ounce of love you lost, I am bringing a deeper, more profound connection that will satisfy your soul. For every act of loyalty that was met with betrayal, I am surrounding you with a tribe that is unshakable and true. Your family will witness a restoration that defies all human logic and psychological expectation. The walls of division are crumbling into dust, and in their place I am building bridges of reconciliation and a double portion of intimacy and trust. You have emerged from the hidden season, and you are no longer the same person who entered it. You have been tested, and you have been found faithful. You are now fireproof. The suffering you endured was not in vain. It has produced a supernatural endurance that has become the bedrock of your new life. Your character has been forged in the crucible of your trials like high-grade steel, and that very character has now become the spiritual magnet for the blessings I am releasing. You are finally ready to handle the weight of this double portion because you have learned how to lean entirely on me when you had nothing else. The door of your destiny is standing wide open, and I tell you truly that no man, no demonic force, and no earthly circumstance has the power to shut what I have opened for you. This is your appointed time to occupy the territory that was promised to your ancestors and to your spirit. The double is not a distant dream. It is the atmosphere you are now breathing. Every area of your existence, your physical health, your mental clarity, your spiritual depth, and the peace within your home is being touched and transformed by the power of my restoration. I am making all things beautiful in my perfect time, and that time is the moment you are currently living in. Prepare your heart for the unexpected, expand your vision beyond your current horizons, and get ready to receive more than you ever dared to ask, think, or imagine. The double has arrived. My precious child, you have witnessed the blueprint of my restoration. But now, the moment has come for me to place the actual instrument of your liberation into your hands. Many search for this key in the high places of status or the deep vaults of wealth, but I tell you the key to your double portion is already within your reach, waiting for your spirit to turn it. You have stood before the massive, ironclad doors of your breakthrough, pounding on the surface, with your fists shouting until your voice was gone, wondering why the heavens seemed locked. But I am not a God who keeps his children outside in the cold. I have been holding this key for you, waiting for your character to match the weight of what lies behind that door. This key is not a secret ritual or a complex formula. It is a posture of the heart that aligns your earthly reality with my heavenly abundance. To unlock the double portion, you must first master the art of the preemptive shout, the ability to praise me for the harvest while the field still looks like a desert. The first and most powerful notch on this divine key is gratitude before manifestation. Most of the world waits until they see the money, feel the healing, or hold the contract before they offer thanks. But that is not faith. That is merely observation. I am calling you to a higher frequency. I want you to look at your empty cupboards and thank me for the feast that is already on its way. I want you to look at your lonely house and thank me for the tribe I am currently assembling to surround you. When you thank me before the miracle happens, you are making a legal claim in the spiritual realm. You are saying, Father, I trust your word more than I trust my current circumstances. Radical gratitude is the sound that shatters the walls of Jericho. It is the frequency that causes the suddenly to manifest in your timeline. When you choose to be thankful in the midst of the pressure, you prove that you are no longer a slave to what you see, but a master of what you believe. This gratitude is the lubricant that makes the lock of your destiny turn with effortless ease. The second notch on your key, and perhaps the one that feels the heaviest, is the power of radical forgiveness. Look again at my servant Joseph. Had he carried the bitterness of the pit into the palace, he would have eventually turned that palace into a prison of his own making. Bitterness is a poison you drink while hoping your enemy dies. It is a heavy stone that occupies the space in your hands where my double portion is meant to sit. I know they hurt you. I know the betrayal was deep and the wounds are still tender. But I am asking you to release them today, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. When you forgive, you are not saying what they did was right. You are saying that their debt to you has been settled by me. You are handing the bill to the judge of all the earth and saying, I will no longer let this person's shadow darken my future. By letting go of the grudge, you are dropping the weights that would keep you from soaring to the heights I have destined for you. You cannot hold a scepter of authority while you are still clutching a knife of resentment. This key is now in your hands. It is made of the gold of your trials and the silver of your tears. It is a key that unlocks doors no man can shut, but you must be the one to turn it. Today, I am inviting you to engage in a spiritual transaction that will seal your shift from trouble to double. Press like as your seal of agreement. Then comment 1111 or I choose gratitude as your preemptive shout. I want you to think of the one person or the one situation that has been the source of your greatest pain. And in the silence of your heart, say, I release you, and I thank God for my future. This is the moment your chains fall off. This is the moment the heavy doors begin to creak open on their hinges. You are no longer waiting for a miracle. You are becoming the miracle. The key of gratitude and forgiveness is the only thing that can bridge the gap between where you are and where I am taking you. Turn the key, my child. Step through the threshold. The air on the other side is sweet with the scent of my promises fulfilled. And the light is so bright, you will have to squint to see the path I have laid out for you. My beloved, as you stand at the threshold of this double portion, I must reveal to you the highest level of the blessing I have prepared for your life. Most people seek my hand only to fill their own storehouses, to build a bigger reservoir for their own security. They want to be a container that holds my grace, fearing that if they let any of it go, they will return to the lack they once knew. But I am not calling you to be a reservoir. I am calling you to be a river. A reservoir is a body of water that has no outlet. It collects, it sits, and eventually, because the water does not move, it becomes stagnant. It loses its life, its freshness, and its ability to sustain others. If you try to hoard the double I am giving you, if you try to keep it all for your own comfort and safety, you will find that the very blessing you prayed for will lose its sweetness. I did not bring you through the fire and the flood just so you could sit in a palace of isolation. I brought you through so that you could become a conduit for my glory to reach the ends of the earth. I want you to understand the divine mystery of the flow. When you become a river, you are no longer worried about the supply because your source is not the rain or the circumstances of this world. Your source is the throne of the living God. I have placed within you a spring of living water that will never run dry. As it is written, out of your innermost being shall flow rivers of living water. This is the secret of the chosen one. The more you allow the blessing to flow through you, the more I am forced to pour into you to keep the current moving. When you become a vessel that feeds the hungry, clothes the naked, and speaks life into the broken, you enter into a covenant of infinite supply. You will never have to check the depth of your waters, because as long as there is a thirsty soul downstream, I will ensure that your river remains full, fresh, and overflowing. You are being blessed to be a blessing. You are being healed to be a healer. You are being restored so that you can show others the way back to my heart. This shift from a reservoir mindset to a river mindset is the ultimate protection for your heart. When you live as a river, the spirit of fear cannot find a place to rest in you. You aren't afraid of losing what you have because you know the source is inexhaustible. You don't get bitter when things leave your life because you know that a river must keep moving to stay pure. In this season of double restoration, I am giving you more than enough so that you can become a distribution center for my kingdom. When you look at the resources I am placing in your hands, I want you to ask me, Lord, who is this for? When you make my priorities, your priorities, I will make your prosperity my responsibility. The double portion is heavy, and only those who have the heart of a river can carry it without being crushed by the weight of greed. You have the heart I was looking for, and that is why I have chosen you to be the channel through which my love will saturate your family, your community, and your generation. You are no longer a victim of the drought. You are the solution to the thirst of others. Everywhere you go, life will spring up around you. Your words will carry the moisture of my spirit, and your actions will carve paths of hope through the dry places of people's lives. Do not be afraid that you will run out of strength or that you will be taken advantage of. I am the one who guards the banks of your river. I am the one who ensures that your flow is never interrupted by the enemy's schemes. As you pour out the little you think you have, watch how I respond with an avalanche of the much I have in store. You are a river of life, and from this day forward, you will never know what it means to be empty again. The current of my favor is picking up speed, and you are being carried into a territory where your impact will be felt for generations to come. My precious child, lean in closer, for I am about to speak a word of timing into your spirit that will demand your total focus. We have traveled through the valleys of your pain. We have unmasked the purpose of your pressure, and we have handed you the keys to your palace. But now the spiritual must become material. The invisible must become visible. I am announcing a divine countdown in your life, a 7-day window of supernatural transition. This is not a week of ordinary time. It is a kairos moment, a set time where my hand moves with accelerated speed to bring about the shift you have been praying for. In the next 168 hours, I am rearranging the stars of your destiny. I am moving people you've never met and opening ledgers you didn't know existed. You have been in a season of not yet for so long that you've grown accustomed to the waiting. But I tell you today, the waiting room is closing and the harvest field is being revealed. During the first 3 days of this shift, days 1, 2, and 3, the work will be deep and internal. You will notice a peace that makes no sense to your logical mind. While the bills may still be on the table and the critics may still be whispering, you will find yourself breathing with a new lightness. This is the inner peace shift. I am quieting the storms of anxiety that have kept your mind in a state of war. You will wake up with a song in your spirit rather than a knot in your stomach. This peace is the foundation. It is the evidence that the potter has finished the structural work and is now ready to display the vessel. Do not resist this stillness. Do not go looking for the old worry just because it feels familiar. Rest in the quietness of my presence, for it is the silence that precedes the sound of abundance. As you move into day 4 and day 5, the shift will begin to leak into your physical reality through what the world calls coincidences, but what you will recognize as divine synchronicities. You will see small signs that I am at work. You might see specific numbers that have always meant something to us. You might receive a text from someone you haven't spoken to in years who simply felt led to check on you. You may overhear a conversation in a grocery store that contains the exact answer to a question you whispered to me months ago. These are the whispers of your Father, letting you know that the double is being packed for delivery. These signs are meant to fuel your faith and keep your eyes fixed on the horizon. Do not dismiss them as random. They are the footprints of my angels as they carry out the orders I have issued on your behalf. Finally, on day 6 and day 7, prepare yourself for the sudden news. Just as Joseph was called from the prison to the palace in a single hour, you are approaching a moment of sudden news that will change the trajectory of your year. It will be a phone call that starts with, "We've made a decision," an email that says, "Approved," or a physical manifestation of healing that leaves the doctors speechless. This is the final break of the old cycle. By the time the sun sets on the 7th day, you will look back and realize that you are no longer the person who started this week. The double portion will no longer be a prophecy. It will be your testimony. The atmosphere has been prepared, the shift is in motion, and I am watching with a father's joy as my child steps into the light. My precious child, the process of the steeping is finally complete. The water has boiled, the pressure has done its divine work, and the essence of who I created you to be has been released into the cup of your life. You are no longer that dry, hidden vessel. You are a rich, fragrant offering saturated with my power and wisdom. I have watched you endure the heat with a grace that has moved the heart of heaven. The bitterness of the past has been filtered out, and what remains is a flavor so potent that it will change the lives of everyone you touch. The waiting room is officially closed. The construction site has become a finished temple. I am breathing my final seal of approval over this season of your life. You have passed the test of endurance, you have kept the faith when the silence was deafening, and now the door that no man can shut is standing wide open before you. Do not hesitate. Do not look back at the wreckage of the desert you just crossed. Your future is not a continuation of your past. It is a total departure from everything you have ever known. But listen closely, for this restoration is not the destination. It is only the foundation. The double portion, I am placing in your hands today, is the equipment you will need for the next great adventure. I am preparing to lead you into what I call the land of giants, Up until now, you have been fighting for survival, but from this moment forward, you will be fighting for territory. I am giving you the strength of a conqueror, because your mission is no longer just about your own peace. It is about liberating others who are still trapped in their own pits and prisons. This is just the beginning of our journey together. There is a depth to my glory and a height to your destiny that you cannot yet perceive. But I will reveal it to you in the days to come. As you learn to walk in this new authority, you were born for such a time as this, to be a light in the darkness and a voice of hope in a world that has forgotten my name. The giants in your path are not there to stop you. They are there to be defeated, proving to the world that the God you serve is the King of Kings. I have opened the door, but the act of stepping through belongs to you. This is your moment of final alignment, to lock this blessing into your reality and to ensure that no thief can steal what I have ordained for you. I want you to make a bold declaration in the courts of heaven. Do not be silent in this hour of victory. Comment 1111 or "It is done" to seal this decree. Then subscribe so you stay connected to what I will unfold next. And share this message with someone who needs their door to open so they can step into their own shift too. Let the sound of your faith resonate through the spiritual realm, letting every adversary know that you have moved from the struggle to the double, and you are never going back to the way things were. As you step into this new day, walk out today with your head held high, your heart full of gratitude, and your spirit ready for the supernatural. I am with you, I am for you, and I have made a way where there was no way. The double is yours. Go forth in my power. Amen.